Welcome back to the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez circuit, where qualifying will begin shortly. So then, Ant, it's another Grand Prix weekend, another exciting qualifying session ahead of us. What are you going to be looking out for over the next few minutes?
The first question is going to be who can avoid making mistakes. There isn't much margin for error in qualifying, and you have to bear in mind that the track conditions may have changed since practice, particularly as we've had a few support races in the meantime. If the brake bias settings, for example, don't take this into account, it's extremely easy to lock up a front wheel and cause a flat spot. Just like that, your lap's ruined and you've wasted a set of tyres to boot.
Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode in my F1 2017 career mode here today around Mexico. Hope you all enjoyed the last episode. Obviously, as the title said, it had it all. So hopefully this race can live up to those expectations as well. Obviously doing our qualifying laps here now. Starting our second lap, or our second run now in qualifying, and now coming across the line there to start our, well no, actually this is our second run, and coming across the line now to improve by a couple of tenths, I think, with a minute and a half left. Hopefully we can get back around to start another lap, and now coming around the final corner to finish that lap that we just started, and we improved by, I think it was about a tenth or something, and we just about get across the line to start our last qualifying lap. And unfortunately, ending the last lap of the session, I was down by a few thousandths of a tenth or whatever it is. But unfortunately, I only managed to get a 16th place in the on the grid. But hopefully, we can, you know, get a good start and then get up there again like we did. And wow, Hamilton and Vettel set exactly the same time. Wow, that's amazing. Unfortunately, being out-qualified by our teammate once again, obviously ahead of the McLarens and the Saubers, but I wasn't expecting much from this Grand Prix being Mexico. But without further ado, let's get into the Grand Prix for the Mexican Grand Prix.
The air may be thin here in Mexico City, the atmosphere is anything but. And joining me amongst the cheers of the phenomenal Mexican fans, it's Anthony Davidson. And welcome along to this historic circuit. What an occasion this is.
Yeah, it's hard to believe when you see the passion this country has for the sport that Formula One was away from Mexico for so long. It's fantastic to be here, and let's hope that the race lives up to the party atmosphere we've got going. It's a real fast track, this. We get up to Monza levels of speed down the main straight thanks to the high altitude here at over 2,000 metres above sea level. And with that comes the challenge of having less downforce in the corners. So that makes it a really demanding circuit, both for the drivers and engineers.
We're almost ready to go then, and this is what the starting grid looks like for today's race. Lewis Hamilton lines up on pole position, with Daniel Ricciardo slotting in alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Massa, Verstappen, Lance Stroll and Ocon, Hülkenberg, Magnussen, Sainz and Jolyon Palmer, Raikkonen, Grosjean, Sebastian Vettel and Toro Rosso, Bottas, Alonso, Pascal Wehrlein and Sergio Perez. Ericsson and Stoffel Van Dorn completes the grid. Now it's almost time to lights out, so let's go down to the track.
You were expected to be in a higher grid position than this. Let's push hard on the first few laps and move up a few places.
Jeff having high expectations then for the Grand Prix. So starting in P14, in between a Ferrari and a Mercedes all of a sudden, thanks to the penalties. Sergio Perez, unfortunately, the notable one, obviously with it being his home Grand Prix, starting down in 18th place, so not very good for him. But hopefully we can have a good start to the Grand Prix and get a bit further up the grid as per usual, what we like to do. Obviously with the Ferrari and the Mercedes around us, it's going to be difficult, but here we are now for 4 lights, it's 5 lights. So lights out and away we go here for the Mexican Grand Prix. We've got off to a relatively good start. Grosjean just decided, well, I mean, he's got off to a good start, but then again, he has got a Ferrari powered engine, we've only got a Renault one, and as you can see there, Bottas just flies through the middle of everyone and managed to get like 3 places up, but we dive down the inside of everyone going into the first corner, and now we're going to go round the outside of Magnussen maybe. Well, we're still down the inside of him here. We're now going to go down to this, well, the 4th corner I think it is, of this circuit, and now we're going to dive it down the inside of Everyone is going side by side through this corner for some reason. I don't know why. I'm now going side by side with Palmer through this sector here. We bang tyres a little bit. He manages to get a better exit, although I managed to catch up to him into the hairpin, and now we get a better exit. Hopefully our Renault power unit can be more powerful than his Renault power unit, and we just managed to get past him. Moving on later into the lap, we're now right behind Max Verstappen coming into the stadium section. We dive it down the inside of Verstappen, and that is now P, although actually he's come right back at us. I mean, I did overtake him off circuit there, but it doesn't matter, it's done now. And now we're up into P7. So that's a good start from ourselves. We managed to go up 7 places there, and now we're going to dive it down the inside of Esteban Ocon once again, and now we're doing the same thing as what we did with Palmer basically. We're side by side, banging tyres. I run it a little bit wide on purpose because obviously he's still there, and surprisingly we get a better exit than the Mercedes engine powered car. That was very strange. But now we now have Max Verstappen for company. Obviously him wanting to come back up the field, not having the best of starts. We now have him for company using DRS, coming down into this first corner now. Obviously one of the longest straights on the calendar. We're still side by side, and I just about managed to squeeze him out there, and we just about keep the position. And moving on to lap 8 now, coming in for our first pit stop of the Grand Prix. Hopefully we can get out ahead of Verstappen, because I think he's come in behind us. I mean, does he want to be any closer behind us? I mean, that's literally right up my diffuser, and I don't know if he wants to get any closer, but we get a release from our pit box now, and we're just ahead. Well, I mean, it's the same gap, but we're just ahead of Verstappen still. So we're keeping pace with Verstappen in this race, I've noticed, and hopefully we can keep ahead of him. Well, hopefully we can. I mean, he's in a Red Bull, so I doubt it. But now catching up to the traffic that hasn't pitted yet, and who are miles behind, just easily passing a McLaren Honda there in a straight line, which is obvious. And now diving it down the inside of Alonso into this sector once again, going side by side once again with a car through here. I run it a bit wide because I got a bit put off by the Sauber ahead of me, so that means Alonso can now come back through. But obviously with him having a Honda power unit, he's not going to do anything. So going through this middle sector now, which is just a dream in these 2017 cars. Look how much difference in downforce this car has got to the Sauber. I mean, that Sauber is just awful. I don't even know why they're bothering even driving the car, to be honest. But now cutting on to lap 11 of the Grand Prix. I think we've got people in the pit lane yet. We've got people in the pit lane, and we're also passing Marcus Ericsson down the pit straight. I mean, we passed him before he even got DRS. That just shows how bad that car is, let's be honest. But now, once again, Max Verstappen is behind us, wanting to keep us company, and I don't want his company. So he's now going to go down the inside of us into this first corner. Maybe, yep, he's going to show the nose, and we're going to leave him space. We're going to go around, well, down the inside and then around it. He's still there. I mean, well done, fair play to Verstappen for keeping it in there. I really wasn't expecting him to do that. And once again, cutting on to lap 15 now, or just start lap 15. Unfortunately for us, Valtteri Bottas managed to catch up to me and Verstappen, and well, we all know the result of this. He's just going to steam past us with that Mercedes power unit, and yeah, that's basically the last we're going to see of Bottas. Anyway, cutting on to lap 17 now, coming in for our second pit stop of the Grand Prix. Verstappen has already made a pit stop, and Vettel was behind him actually, as far as I can remember. And they both made their pit stop at the same time, but crucially, they went onto Ultra Softs. So, I don't know why they went onto Ultras, but they've obviously got to make another pit stop. And now, coming out of the pit lane, as you can see there in the top left, they both pass us as we come out of the pit lane. So, they're obviously going to pass us because they're on the quick tyre. There they go. And hopefully they can pit, and then we can jump them, and then we can stay ahead of them. But cutting on to lap 23 now, I think this is, we've got a safety car. I don't know why we've got a safety car. I think someone must have retired somewhere in a dangerous place, and now we have a random safety car. But Kimi Räikkönen there, who's leading the championship, is now leading the Grand Prix. I think that's crucial for him, because I think if he wins this, he wins the championship, basically, because he's managed to get that big of a gap in the lead of the Drivers' Championship. But now, right behind our teammate now, so wasn't expecting to see him in this Grand Prix. Right behind him now, and on the restart for the safety car, we managed to get an alright exit from that corner. It was a bit awkward because we're on the exit of a corner, and technically Sainz isn't on the exit of a corner, if that makes sense. He's already left the corner, so it was a bit awkward for me. But now we're in the slipstream of our teammate now. We're going to go down into the first corner. We've got 9 laps left of this Grand Prix. It's gone quite quick, actually. We're going to dive it down the into our teammate. Obviously, he's on a different strategy. I don't think he's even stopped yet. A bit of carbon fibre flying there. I don't know what's happened here. But now we're right behind Verstappen, as you can see. So obviously he's made a bit of a strategy error in this Grand Prix. We're going to dive it down the inside of Verstappen. Hopefully get the move done. And now we are behind Massa, I think that is, or Stroll, I can't quite see, it's Williams. So we're now right behind, well, once we get this move done, because we're still side by side with Verstappen. I thought it'd be done by now, and there we go. We managed to just about get the move done on Verstappen, and now we've got Ricciardo, who's coming in actually for a pit stop. So obviously all the guys that were ahead of us now making a pit stop, but that includes our teammate, unfortunately. So yeah, and we cut on to the end of the Grand Prix now. We've managed to hold on to 4th place in this Grand Prix, coming around the final corner to get 4th place from 14th, so gaining 10 positions. I'm very happy with that result.
There were questions at the start of the season as to whether this package could really go all the way. But there's no question anymore. What a special year it's been. And here they are now, the new Formula One World Drivers' Champion. Great effort there from Ferrari to take the victory today. So, Ant, how exactly did they set themselves apart from the pack today?
Well, the safety car completely changed the race, didn't it? It's hard to say exactly what would have happened without it, but there's no question that they came out of that situation in a good position.
So, here they come now, out onto the podium. Wherever you go, anywhere in the world, the prancing horse flags are dominant in the grandstands, and they're out in force again today. It's Ferrari on the top step once more.
So huge congratulations to Kimi Räikkönen on winning his 2nd Drivers' Championship, I think it is. So he finishes 1st, Bottas comes home in 2nd, and Massa finishes in 3rd, so he's had a good couple of results. And Sergio Perez recovering for 6th place there, so that's a great job from him. And obviously, as you can see there, all the leaders making an error with their pit stops after the safety car. They lost out big time, unfortunately. And as did my teammate, and Hamilton retired actually. I forgot to show that in the footage, but Hamilton retired, so in case you're wondering where he went, he retired. And moving on to the driver's standings then, hopefully when I press the standings button, any time now, there we go. I've moved up to 5th in the Drivers' Championship, ahead of Massa and Verstappen, but there's only 9 points in it, so hopefully I can keep this form going. And Ricciardo still having a shocker of a season. I mean, we've got no chance of catching the top 4 now, so 5th is like the highest we can go, so that's our priority at the minute. And our teammate is just languishing down below 13th or whatever. So unfortunately he's not had the best of seasons. If anything, I've overachieved in the Toro Rosso, if anything. So hopefully we can keep this form going. And moving on to the constructors then, Toro Rosso still in 5th place. With 179 points, only a couple behind Williams actually, so hopefully we can get them before the end of the season. But if you did enjoy this episode, please leave a like and a comment, and I will see you all next time. Goodbye.